Good evening, everyone. It's your girl, Manina, and we are back with the first episode of the fall season of the Sip and Chat. Now, I'm going to give you a warning. I just might cry today, okay? Don't judge me if you see my makeup running. I'm going to probably cry. And why am I going to cry? Because tonight, I have been so excited. I have been jumping off my couches. My friends have been texting me talking about, are you going to have a fangirl moment? And I'm like, am I? I am. Don't judge me. Tonight, I have the humbled pleasure of having the 2017 Romance Writer of America, Nora Roberts Lifetime Achievement Award, the 2016 Romantic Times Reviewer's Choice Award, nominated for an NAACP Image Award in Literature, the all-time favorite, talented, best author of historical and fiction romance. I have tonight with me, drum roll if you please, Beverly Jenkins in the house tonight.
Yay!
yes.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored. I am honored.
I'm not going to cry today. I'm probably going to cry today. You just have no idea. So I'm going to give some newbies that have never seen an episode of Legacy Book Bar Sip and Chat, and maybe just new to the bookstore and hold, on my About page for my online bookstore that caters to Black authors. There's a story that I posted on my website, and it says, I remember when I was 15, and this is back when malls actually had bookstores in the store. The very first Black romance book I have ever read was Night Song by Beverly Jenkins. The very first book. And I think I read this in 95 and the book came out in 1994. Yep. So I was all about 15 when the story came out. My mom was like, you need to read this book. And I was like, hey, they look like me on here. What's going on here? Yes. Read the book. My family laughs at me because I have a slight photographic memory. I can read super fast and retain all of the information. After the book was over, I ran to the store. I could not wait to get to Dalton's in the store. And I said, I got to find more books. And I'll go in the store and I go to romance and I'm looking and I'm like, J's. Wait a minute. Where's Jenkins? What's going on here? Go to the sales associate. And hey, I'm looking for Beverly Jenkins. She used to have a couple more books out. What's going on here? And they were like, who? What? I was like, she writes romance. And I was like, she's a Black author. They were like, oh no, she's an urban. I said, lies you tell, she is romance. What do you mean? What? So for those that don't know, back then, you had Beverly Jenkins, you had Frances Ray, you had Brenda Jackson, you had Rochelle Ayers. They all write romance. But back then, all Black authors were urban. Lies. These phenomenal women, Black women, mind you, are romance authors. They should be in the romance section, alphabetized by their last name, like everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
That irked my entire being of my entire soul on this. So fast forward to now, I am almost 40, and it came to me like, what business are you going to own? What are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to open up a bookstore. That seems like a good idea. Let's open up a bookstore. And after I processed and researched, and is it a good idea? Should I do it? Should I not? I said, we are going to do it. And this is why. That memory came back from out of the back of my head. I must have suppressed it. And I said, never again will my Black authors be urban that are not urban.
Yeah.
They will be in a proper place where they should be.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get upset any longer at the big name bookstores for incorrectly placing our Black authors.
Yeah.
We're just going to create a whole store and then we'll never have that problem again.
There you go.
And this was the catalyst for why Legacy Book Bar was created. So
that's an awesome story.
Thank you so much. You and of course the other names I have mentioned, you ladies are just, you're humbled, you're talented, you're creative. Some of the stories that you have created, I was like, where did she come up with this? What? But I have cried, I have laughed, I have like, you know what, Mal, I'm not even reading you today. I'm putting you down because Mal send me the Malachi is going to send. Now you're probably trying to figure out, well, who is Malachi? If you read the Blessing series, you would know who Malachi is.
And why are we so mad?
Why are we so mad at Malachi? So so I'm just so thankful that you are here. We're going to hear from Miss Jenkins. And I mean, I think I have all of the burning questions that everybody wants to know. Like, first, like, what made you do this is probably the biggest question.
Well, you know, as I've said many times, this is not what I had planned to do with my life.
Mm-hmm.
I had no plans to become an author. All I ever wanted to do was work in a library. Mm. And I had a girlfriend who had gotten published, and she was white, and she wrote Sweet Romance. Mm-hmm. And Sweet Romance is romance with no love scenes on the page. It's like fade to black, or they call it behind closed doors.
Okay.
And she had gotten published. We were celebrating her. This was probably 87 or 88.
Okay.
And I told her about this little manuscript I was working on, but it was just for me because we were not being published in what's called mass market fiction. Mm-hmm. So that's like romance, mysteries, science fiction. Very few of us were out there. So I wasn't writing for publication. I was just writing this little love story for me because I've always loved a great love story, even though at that time, and still a lot today, there was nothing in the major media that represented us. So I'm, writing on this little story after work. So I brought it in because she had wanted to see it. And she said, you need to get this published. And I'm like, yeah, right, where? So I tell her that she's the reason, this and my mama, and the reason that I'm here today, because I swear she harassed me every day. I kind of worked. You found an agent yet? You found la 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 la. So just to make her sort of shut up, I started to pursue this and found an agent who name is Vivian Stevens, who actually created American Romance. She was an editor at Dell, and she had gotten out of publishing and had a small literary agency. And so she shopped my stuff around. I got enough rejections to paper everybody's house that and I know. And probably had I been pursuing publication, it would have broken my heart. But I didn't care. I was working in the library. That's all I ever wanted. This was just to shut Laverne up. And so on June 3rd, 1993, I got what we in publishing call The Call from New York, and Ellen Edwards at Avon Books. It was my husband's birthday, my late husband's birthday. And she called and said she wanted to buy the book. And so it was purchased in 93, published in 94, along with the first wave of books from Arabesque, which were, the ladies that you mentioned, Brenda and Gwen Forster and Donna Hill and Betty Ford and those ladies, and Frances. So we called it the Summer of Black Love. So we all came out, I think, July and August of 94. So 28 years later, 50 books later, here I am. So,
And I think I have all 50 books.
and you're not alone. I mean, you know how these ladies are. They got, not only do they have all 50 books, they got them in
Print.
hardcover, they got them in
Yep.
print, they got them on their Kindles, they got audio now.
Yep.
So I am not mad at them. The love is amazing, and they keep me going.
I mean, the work that you do, I mean, it's so great, like the stories. So for those, which is so crazy that you don't, Miss Jenkins writes in historical romance. So if you've never read a historical romance, you'll be like, what do you mean? And she has taken history that was just absolute abysmal for our race and has found a way to intertwine romance in it.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Yet the information that she puts in her historical romance is ultra. It is like dated. I have done in high school book reports based off of something that I have read. I want to say it was Indigo's book. And in 11th grade, I had to do a book report. I had to do it on Black history. And we got to choose the topic. I was like, and of course, show our work.
Yeah.
I just read a book. I know what I did. And I typed it all up, had my mom proofread it. The teacher was like, this didn't happen. I was like, lies, you tell. Hold up, sis. Let me show you this information. Let me check your resources, bruh. And she actually, this is back when before you could Google,
right?
You had to go to the library, and she found the books. Now, granted, there's like maybe one copy, of course, of each book in the library, but she had I was like, Testament. I read stuff, bro. I know what's doing.
Yeah, I call it edutainment, entertainment, and education. So I write about the Great Exodus, 1879, when Black folks first left the South. This is not to be confused with the Great Migration of 1900, because these folks moved west as opposed to north. I write about the Black and brown outlaws and lawmen of Indian Territory, and the Great Bass Reeves, who was probably one of the, historians now are thinking that they based the whole Lone Ranger myth on Bass Reeves. Yeah. I write about Harriet Tubman Spiring, because we're so, history has us so focused on Harriet going down and, freeing people and all that. And they don't talk about what a great spy operation she operated with the United States Union troops during the Civil War. So I take the lemons that history has given us and make the lemonade out of it, because that's what the ancestors did.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't always about pain. Hollywood wants to focus on the pain.
Absolutely.
But if there hadn't been any love, we wouldn't be here.
Absolutely.
You want to talk to the Black men after the Civil War who spent months walking all over the South looking for their sold off wives, or the women who walked looking for their husbands. You needed that love in order to deal with the madness that America was giving us. So I take those little nuggets and I weave that love story into the romance, and give you people that you can root for. And I remember one woman early in my career, and she said, Miss Bell, when I read your book, she said, I just feel so good about who I am and what the ancestors have done. And she said, and I don't feel like singing, nobody knows the trouble, So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it gives you a whole new perspective of who we are, our place in American history, and how vital we as a race were and still are to this country called America. So I do African Americans, I do Native Americans, I do the Chinese Americans, because their contributions have been ripped out of, and America's a quilt, the history's a quilt, and our parts have been ripped out, all of the parts of all the marginalized people has been torn out. So it's been sort of my mission to sew that stuff back into. And when you educate a woman, you educate a race. So the women who are reading my books are passing that on to their kids, to their husbands, to their grandkids. I got sisters who are, and their men who are, using my books at cuddle time at night and reading to each other, and so my job here is done, right?
Because Billy and them, oh God, I was not prepared for Billy and Drew.
Yeah, woo! Billy's she's amazing. And she's like, I don't care. I am who I am.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. No. So, yeah. I don't write weak women.
Not at all.
Because weak women don't make the newspaper, and they don't make my books. So, and I have to give them men who are strong enough and supportive enough to support their dreams, because that's what you want in a relationship. You want somebody who's going to support your dreams so that you can support theirs. And and people say, well, romance is a fantasy. I loved my husband dearly. I lost him in 2003. But there were days I wanted to bury his ass in the backyard. And there were days when he wanted to bury my ass in the backyard. But, we had 35 great years. A lot of my men are modeled after him. So there is love in African-American relationships. And there's some brothers you want to run over with your car. Those are not the men I write about.
Not at all.
I write about those men who support their women, who support their families, who don't call staying with their kids babysitting. Because these are their children, who are raising strong sons and raising strong daughters.
Absolutely.
Nobody's writing about them. Nobody's writing about the Black men who have supported this country during the military from, before the French and Indian Wars, before the United States became a country, all the way down to Afghanistan. Nobody's writing about them. Hollywood would have us believe that every Black man is dysfunctional, crazy, an abuser, and it ain't true. So
I agree. So we were supposed to have you on for let me backtrack. So for those that have been a part of the Sip and Chat and has watched a few of the episodes, 90% of the authors we've had are self-published authors. So, I asked them their particular journey. Since you're going to be a little different today, we are going to take your segment and talk more so about your books. You have 50 books to your name.
Yeah.
So what I want to do for your segment is I'm going to use my favorite books. We're going to talk a little bit about each book. Now, before we do that, comment section is going bananas. I'm trying to post some of the comments as we go. My mom is here. She is here for every event. She said,
"Hey, Mom,
Miss Bev, I am crying," which means if she starts crying, I'm definitely going to start. So we can't cry. Like I said, she's the one that introduced me to your book. So I know.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you.
We have Flo Davis says true literary legend. I'm
looking at the comments. Yes. Thank y'all for coming out.
Now, Indy Jones, she knows, she has my heart. She knows she is one of Legacy Book Boss author. She writes urban fantasy, and her books are flying off of the shelves. She is actually she is flying. Like really,
Yeah, I'm a
she's
big
doing,
fantasy reader, so
she
yeah.
is flying. So I'm super proud that she is here. We're actually doing her book club next month. We're doing book
Okay.
2 of A Queen's Pride, called Moth That's Claws, which I go hard for my authors, and because she's local. I call and text her about all of her books, and I was like, I don't even know why you're doing this to me. Like, you should have warned me. I should have had a box of tissues. Her books are just that good. She reminds me so much of you with
Okay.
the details
Okay.
and the history that she puts into her stories. Like,
Okay.
utterly amazing.
Okay.
Then, of course, she said Happy Friday. My mom again said Summer of Black Love.
Yeah.
We have Megan Thomas, who I believe is also one of my authors. She wrote a children's story called My Dad. She is here.
Okay.
Indy and Flo Davis both like the edutainment comment that you made a little earlier.
Yeah.
Then we have from Bayville, Johnson Monica Anderson. She said, hello, Mrs. B.
I
So
know. Yeah, my ladies from Beverlyville. Yeah,
we are in the house.
they're
Yes.
amazing. They're
We got
amazing.
Stephanie Nadine Jacobs, who I also believe is from Bayville. ND commented and said, that's what I love about writing Black stories. It's a great mission. Kia Crowder, my mentor since I was 19. She says Black Woman Magic. Hey, Kia, thank you so much for joining the Sip and Chat tonight. Both my mom and Johnson Monica both said no weak women here, and they love strong women. The mayor is in the house. I think my mom. Okay, so when I said I was going to talk about my top 3, she immediately put in the comments Night Song, Indigo, and Topaz.
Yeah.
I mean, those are my favorites. So
Yeah.
what can we say? Oh, Megan Thomas said Miss Bev is my soror. So I believe you are SG Rho.
Yep, Sigma Gamma Rho.
Yes. So
Yeah.
quite a few.
Hey, Soror.
Yes. Quite a few of the Legacy Book Bar authors are SG Rho because the CEO and owner of one of the self-publishing companies that we are affiliated with, Divine Legacy Publishing, that is owned by Amanda Chambers, is also SG Rho. And I believe she has upwards to 20 authors in her publishing company that are SG Rho.
That's awesome.
She also has about quick plug. She has about 50 authors.
Yep.
So if you are looking to self-publish your book, I would say go to divinelegacypublishing.com and send in a form. Yeah, that's what we do here. Okay. We share the wealth. So we're going to go now to your books.
Okay.
So, yes, Mom, we are going to talk about Night Song, Indigo, and Topaz. Yes.
Yes.
But before we do that, what I want to do first is talk about, I'm going to go out of order with the books. Let's talk about Vivid, because this year is the 25th anniversary of Vivid. And that came out with a new hardback cover, which I ordered. It is on its way here.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. I think I have. Hold on.
Yes, with the Black Authors Matter shirt. Yes. Yes, I love it. Yes.
Here is the Vivid cover.
Yes. Vivid,
I think you're probably seeing it backwards, but
no, actually, I see it facing me. So we're good.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Avon let it go out of print because at the beginning the sales were not very good, and that was okay. But I knew we were buying it. And so they gave me the rights back.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my agent, she's just a supreme hustler. She really, really, really is. And so we did e-versions for years. And so last year, Vivid was 25 years old. And so I talked to the ladies at Beverlyville, which is my Facebook page, and they were like, well, can we get a hardcover version? Because the hardcover version came out in '94 through the book club, back when they had book clubs. And so I talked to Iris Bowling, who is another absolutely fabulous author. She
Mm-hmm.
does suspense, and asked her who did her covers. And so she gave me the name of the young woman who did the covers.
Mm-hmm.
And I called her, hooked her up, and said, "Can you do, this?" And this is what she sent me back, and I was just floored at how beautiful that
Mm-hmm.
cover was. So I had her also do the 25th anniversary for Indigo, which was last year. Vivid was year before last. Indigo
Mm-hmm.
was this year. So, yeah, but those are the only two big books that
Mm-hmm.
I have the rights back to. So, but I do have the rights for some of the smaller, for the novellas.
Okay.
But publishing is no longer giving you your rights back. They're like, we can still make money on the e-versions, so you're not going to get your rights back, which is fine because that pays more than they pay anyway. So
Mm.
I'm good. So, yeah, I'm
Okay.
traditionally published,
Okay.
which means I'm published out of New York. Because when I started in 94, there were no independent publishers that were not
Mm.
vanity publishers.
Mm.
And vanity publishers being, you paid them an ungodly amount of money. They, put your little books together and you wind up with like 150 copies in your basement. People
Mm.
were writing books about their dogs and their cats and, stuff that
Mm.
really vanity publishing,
Gotcha.
which is very, very different from the independent self-publishing that's going on now. So,
Mm-hmm.
traditional was our only outlet, and I have been with them for 28 years. They have been amazing in the sense of letting me publish and write whatever I want to write because
Mm-hmm.
I've done the historical fiction, I've done contemporary, I've done romantic suspense, I've done
Mm-hmm.
women's fiction with the Blessing series, all the little novellas, and I have two YAs, which are youth, young
Mm-hmm.
adults, which is Belle and Josephine.
Josephine. See?
So
I
they
love
let
it.
me play in all the different sandboxes.
Yes.
And so I am, I'm loving on them because they've been loving on me. So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been I am loving the ride of reading your stories. As I'm sure me and everyone else in Bayville, we love it. So let's tell people what's who and what is Vivid. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Vivid is my second book.
Mm-hmm.
Night Song was first.
Mm-hmm.
Night Song was about the Great Exodus of 1879 when Black folks first left the South. And it's set in, I'm going to get to Vivid in a minute, but I got to tell you about Night Song first.
Understood.
Night Song is set in one of the small townships
Mm-hmm.
that Black folks founded after we went west, after the gutting of Reconstruction and the rise of the Klan and the Black codes and Jim Crow and all of that. It's based on Nicodemus, Kansas,
Mm-hmm.
which was a real place. So I like to put my stories where Black people actually walked as opposed to just making up shit. Because then you don't have those questions. We'll still get the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Did Black people really do this? Did Black people really walk here? Yes. And I put a bibliography in the backs of the books
Mm-hmm.
so you can go look it up. All right. So Night Song is an overly educated school teacher and a very, very fine Buffalo soldier.
Yes.
So that came out in 94. Next was Vivid.
Mm-hmm.
We know probably absolutely, well, my readers do,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody else probably knows anything about the great African American 19th century female doctors.
Mm.
They went to school in Pennsylvania, which is now the University of Pennsylvania. It's called the Women's College of Medicine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I've done the history on that, but they were Black women, and they got their degrees, and they went out into the country, and were the only doctors of any race or gender in a lot of places, especially in the South. So I wanted to pay tribute to them. So I created Dr. Biblica Lancaster, and she went to this college. She's from
Mhm.
California, and she comes east to Michigan, where I live, because Black folks have been in Michigan since probably 1835 or 1834.
Mhm.
And there are small townships here that were founded by Black folks. So she comes to Michigan, comes to a place called Grayson's Grove, which is a Black township. And the guy who is the mayor and is the owner, the descendant of the people who founded the township,
Mhm.
he's the mayor. He thinks Dr. Lancaster is a man.
Mhm.
He is not happy when he finds out that his great aunt has tricked him into allowing this lady doctor. Now, the female doctors had two battles they had to fight. They had to fight with the Black women.
Mhm.
White women were fighting sexism. Black women were fighting sexism and racism.
Mhm.
So Vivica gets off the train. She got like 1,000 suitcases because her people got money. She coming with all her stuff. She got her instruments. She got her books. She got everything. And he's like, "No, I'm looking." What was his line? "I'm looking for a doctor, not somebody to play doctor with."
Mhm.
And she's like, "Okay, motherfucker, I'm just gonna sit here and wait for you to get a clue."
Well,
And so that starts our story. So we watch her as she deals with trying to establish healthcare in a place that is on a circuit with a white doctor who's not very caring.
Mhm.
We watch the love affair uh, spark between her and Nay Grayson, who is the guy. We have a little bit of background on Fort Pillow
Mhm.
because Nate was in the war and participated in Fort Pillow. And those of you who do not know what Fort Pillow is, you need to know. So look it up. That's your homework. Um, and it's just a great story. He's got this great daughter named Magic, um, who is just a handful and is wonderful. We've got family stories. I like to do family stories.
Mhm.
So that's Vivid. And then the next book is Indigo, which many people think is it's a classic. It's taught in a lot of college classes. It's on the classics list of romance period, not just Black romance.
Mhm.
Um, about a young woman who, what you laughing at? A young woman who,
One of the comments said homework. Oh my, do your homework, people. It's in
yeah,
the comments.
I know
I know what it is. You guys
I
better do your homework.
yeah, I always give homework when I speak. Um, but her hands are purple from dealing with the indigo plant when she was little.
Mhm.
So, and she's on the Underground Railroad. And her father sold himself into slavery. Her father was a free Black man from Michigan and sold himself into slavery for the love of a woman who was
Mhm.
enslaved. And that came to me, that's based on a real incident. I was looking through a book called Bullwhip Days,
Mhm.
which my publisher did back in the 80s, which is a WPA compilation of the oral stories told to the WPA in the 30s about
Mhm.
slavery.
Mhm.
So when they did these interviews, these folks were in their 90s, 100 years old. And one of the gentlemen said he knew a man named Wyatt who was free, who sold himself into slavery for the love of a woman.
Mhm.
And that just stopped my heart because
Mhm.
that's love.
Absolutely.
That is love. Because, she could have been sold the next day,
Could have been.
you know. So there was no HEA. In romance, traditional romance, we have what we call the HEA, which is
Mhm.
the happily ever after. And if it don't have the HEA, it's not a romance.
Mhm.
So there's no HEA in slavery. So I could not write their story.
Right.
So the mother and the father. So I said, what if, which is the writer's, spark a lot of times. What
Mhm.
if this happened?
Mhm.
And So I said, like, what if she somehow escaped slavery and wound up back in Michigan, and when we meet her for the first time and an adult, she has escaped slavery. You'll find that out in the backstory. I'm not giving you no spoilers. You got to read the book. She's on the Underground Railroad. She's a conductor.
Yeah.
So those are the first 3 books. Topaz is one of my favorites. I got a letter after Indigo from one of y'all. I don't know who it was. I don't remember. I have all of my fan mail.
Really?
I kept everything.
Wow.
Well, one of the one it was so amazing that people were actually writing to me about these books. And after Indigo, I got a letter from because a little bit of Indigo deals with John Brown.
Yes.
And the failed mission at Harper's Ferry. And one of the young black men who was killed was Dangerfield Newby. And so after the publication of Indigo, I got a letter from his family. Talk about crying.
Oh my.
Yeah. They said they were very, very proud that I had kept their ancestors' name alive in my stories. I also got a letter from one of the great granddaughters of Hanging Judge Parker.
Oh my gosh. I love him.
Yeah, and she said, the family was just so tickled that he was in the stories and that I really captured his personality. So I keep my fan mail. So anyway, what was I saying about this? Where was I going with this?
We were on Topaz next.
Oh, okay. So I got the letter. Okay, now I remember where it was. See, that's why I need y'all. That's
why we're here. I'm with you. I got you. We are together. I got you.
I always do that when I'm speaking. I'm like, oh, y'all can keep up with me. I'm gonna get off topic, and I'm not gonna know where I started.
I got you. I'm right here.
So I got this letter after Indigo, and the sister said, Miss Bev, your first 3 books were kind of serious. Can you write a comedy? And I was like, yeah, you never say no, because, this is a gift.
Right.
My stories come through me. They are not of me. And so I sat down, and the next thing I know, I am laughing my ass off writing about this. And yeah, there were some, poignant moments and some moments that made you cry and all that. But basically, it's a wagon train of Black women who are going to Kansas from Chicago to marry these men who have started this township. And I had such a ball writing that book, and it still stands up very well. It'll be 25 years old, I think, next year.
Oh, wow.
I can't believe I've been writing this long.
Let me just say that I'm like, so I started reading you. I was 15. So either I read Night Song first, then Indigo, or I read Indigo, then Night Song. It was they might have been simultaneous messing with me. I was definitely within the same month. And to hear now, 25 years later, you're like, I remember buying that at the store. What do you mean? Comments are going nuts. Ladies, we are not going to fight over book husbands.
No, we're not going to fight over book. No book boyfriend fights here today while I'm here. Y'all can fight off to the side.
Gallon is still mine. Oh my God. Let me tell you how. He was such my book husband that I think I bought 10 bottles of warm vanilla sugar, body spray, and lotion.
There was no vanilla in this country. Y'all bought it all up, and you would go places, and every place, because that was, back then you could travel. And I did a lot of traveling at the beginning of my career. And everywhere I went in 1996, when Indigo came out, y'all were giving me baskets of vanilla. Yeah. And I come home and my husband was like, more vanilla. Yes. There was none in the stores. Y'all were buying it. Y'all were giving it away. Husbands were buying it for their wives,
That's all
for
I
their
wanted.
girlfriends.
Yes.
So
for those that have not read Indigo, go buy the book.
Yeah.
That's one. And then two, you don't understand how the scent of vanilla, even in 2021, if you read this book, will have your life turned around 100%.
Yeah.
If you read what about this vanilla scent in this book.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm just saying the comments is going nuts. And everybody that has read Indigo, no, yes, Mom, vanilla from Madagascar, because it's the best. Like, who says that?
And I used it because, I had to think about, okay, what kind of perfume would they use back then? And I thought about my mama talking about during World War II, because she was in her late teens, early 20s, during World War II. And she said, you couldn't buy perfume. So they used vanilla flavoring or vanilla extract. And you put it, behind your knees or, behind your ears or in your, your elbows. So I'm a baker, I've been baking all my life. So I got the vanilla out and I put it on my shoulder and I said, okay, baby, I asked my husband, I said, how's it smell? He was like, yeah. Come with me, right? So I knew that we would use vanilla for the scent, for the signature scent for that book. So
yes,
I've had such fun doing this. I can't believe I've been doing this for 27 years and I'm 70 years old. I'm like, really? Jesus
looking
Christ.
Fabulous. Yes.
Yes.
Looking fabulous.
Thank you so much.
So we just talked about her first 3 books of her historical romance that just started the greatness that she is. So Miss Johnson, Monica Anderson, she said, talk about, and of course it's on my list. We're going to speed it up a little bit, and we're going to go a little contemporary, and we are going to talk about Deadly Sexy that turned into an entire movie.
Yeah.
That is on Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, you want to go with it. Thanks.
And stars Travis Cure. Yes. I thank Iris for that. Iris Bowling. Iris started her own film company because she said she was tired of waiting for Hollywood to greenlight us. We're still waiting. I had done a few here and there, but there's no real, pipeline for us for our love stories. So she taught herself filmmaking, and she did a couple of her own books and was very successful with it. And so we were at, I don't even remember where we were. And she asked if, she could do Sexy Dangerous. I mean, Deadly Sexy, because, it's 2 books, Deadly Sexy. And I was like, sure. So she ran with it. We did a crowdsource to try and raise enough money to get it. And everywhere we went, people were like, well, when are you going to have a movie, Miss Bev? When are you going to have a movie, Miss Bev? Well, people didn't put their money where their mouth was. So we needed almost 100,000 to start. So we pulled in maybe 65, 70. So Iris made this movie with shoelaces and safety pins and buttons and did such a fabulous, fabulous job. So it's one of my suspense books. The book is called Deadly Sexy. The movie is called Deadly Sexy, the movie. And it is on Amazon Prime still. And Travis Cure is the lead guy.
Travis.
Oh, yeah, he is real easy on the eyes, ladies. Very, very easy on the eyes. And the young woman who plays JT is a corrections officer in a man's prison. Wait. And I'm like, what? In Virginia? Yeah. So girlfriend can handle her business.
JT, wasn't she? Wait, I'm getting my books mixed up. JT wasn't the sports agent? Wait, what
Yes.
book are we talking about?
We talking about Deadly Sexy, JT with the sports agent. Yeah.
Yes.
But the sister in real life who plays that role
Is a correctional officer?
is a corrections officer in a male
No
prison.
way.
Yeah.
And this is when I say, even in real life, she does not find weak women to portray her characters that are not weak women.
I know, and I didn't know that until after. I didn't know that until after Iris had, done we had the premiere at the African American Museum in Richmond, because Iris is from Virginia, is from Richmond. So I was very, very blessed by that. Still am. So if you're and yeah, like Monica said, it is true to the book.
True to the book.
Yeah.
The actors and actresses really pulled off the essence of their respective characters from the book. Yeah, and of course, you have to read the book because we're not going to give it all away.
Yeah, you got to read the book first, then go see the movie.
Then go see the movie, exactly. Wow. But they were phenomenal. I enjoyed it. I definitely think I watched it probably about 3 times now. I'm probably going to watch it again tonight just because I'm talking to you today. Watch it again. So,
yeah, Stephanie Timothy. Thank you, Antoinette. That's her name. The young lady who played
Thanks,
JT.
Antoinette.
Yeah.
Yes. So I will say this. So again, we have talked about her books, right? And we've said how it's 50 books. And a lot of her stories are family oriented. Like it's characters that are related to each other one way or another. The one thing the most thing I love about the stories is, now you have her historical fictions, right? Her historical fictions are set like the late 18s, right?
Right.
Then you'll go and she'll throw in a modern or contemporary. You're like, oh, okay, we're going to jump up a couple. Okay. The characters in the contemporary are the descendants of the characters of the historical romance. So you could be, it's 2011, 2009, and you're reading her book, and the character, you could be halfway through the book. And then it'll be, because, my great-great-grandmother was on a wagon train. You're like, wait a minute. Like, I know she didn't. And then she does this in all of the modern day romances, and your mind is blown. She does it.
All of the contemporary characters are descendants of the hysterical. Yes. Some of us are hysterical. The historical folk.
Yes. I love it. It is I love when those little hidden gems comes out. It's like, ooh, because then if you're like me and you've read all of her books, it then makes you want to go back and be like, I remember that. Now I have to go back and read. Let me finish this book first, but I'm gonna go back and read that one again.
They're little Easter eggs.
Yes,
I've got Easter eggs in all of my books.
Love it. That's probably one of the best things that I love about your stories is the way they connect, but then not connect, because they could be right there. You can read them as a standalone. You don't necessarily have to read them, the historicals, and then that. But when you realize how they connect, you're like, whoa, how did she do that?
Yeah. Out of all of the big books, the historicals and the contemporaries, there's only one book that is not connected to any of the others. And that's the Beverly Jenkins trivia question. And no, I'm not going to tell you. The ladies who read me know, because we've talked about this before. And this was not a plan. I hadn't planned on this. I tell people when they read the books to read them in publication order. That way they don't miss anything. But, y'all into these series and all that. And they'll be like, oh, well, I missed it. You should have read them in order. So, but there's only one, and it will come to you because you have read all the books, and I'm not going to tell you. That's your homework too.
Homework assignment 2.
And all y'all on the chat, don't tell people. Y'all know. So
What
keep it to
book
yourself.
is not all right? Okay, I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna get it. So the big series that you have right now, that is 11 books in, is the Blessing series.
Right.
And Bayville, because again, I am a part of Bayville because I definitely cyberstalk. Not afraid to say it. It happened. I got my keys to the house. I'm great. We talk about the Blessing series. We have our like watch parties, and we go in the spoiler room, and where did this and what happened? So absolutely. 11 books. I think I have cried, and I mean like snot cried, in all 11 books at this point. I have cried.
Well, the story takes place in the same town that my very first historical takes place.
Yeah.
So this is Henry Adams, Kansas, which is where Night Song started. Something Like Love is set there, as along with Wild Sweet Love. So this is the 19th century town kicked forward 100 years, and what's happening. And there are descendants from the historical characters living in this town. So we have this town, and there's nobody there but senior citizens, like a lot of small towns in America in the 21st century. And they put themselves up for sale on eBay because they want to preserve the history, but they ain't got no money. So our heroine, Bernadine Brown, goes to have lunch with her husband, who's a VP oil executive, and they got more money than God, them oil people. And she comes in to meet him for lunch for her birthday, and he's playing the two-back beast on the desk with the secretary. So rather than her, go, oh me, oh my, she takes his ass to divorce court. And she walks out of the courtroom with a gazillion $1 million, because like I said, the oil guy got, too much money. And she ends up buying this town. Now, she used to be a social worker. So her vision for this little town is to save it because of the Black history there, and to also make it a safe place for foster kids, for at-risk kids. So she brings in these, I think there's 6 of them, 5 or 6 when we start out, at-risk kids to be raised old school by foster parents and the great senior citizens that are living in this town. So it's about found families. It's about second chances. It's about forgiveness. Some of it is laugh out loud funny. We got a hog that, killed people and wears clothes.
Cletus the pig.
Yeah. And so now we're on book. I'm trying to finish book 11. I'm supposed to finish it last year. It was supposed to be out this Christmas, but life got to be a little bit too much for me last year. So it is due to Erica, who is my beloved and very patient editor. It is due to her in March, and it will be out next Christmas.
Okay.
So we're at the point now where it might be the last book. I'm not sure. It was supposed to be only 3 books to start.
Really?
Yeah, we only did a contract for 3 books.
Wow.
And but book 3 was Devin's book.
Whew.
And I cried so much during that book. Oh my God.
I think everyone in Bayville that has read the series, I think it was a consensus out of all to print right now that we've read out of the 10. That was the book that made everybody cry. I know for a fact, when he went back home, I had to put this book down and walk away. And I very rarely do that. I had to put it down and walk away. And I said,
when he put himself on that grandmama's grave, I was done.
I was
done.
I said, how could you?
I know.
And again, when I say, if you have never read a Beverly Jenkins book, please do so now. I can't even tell you where to start. I'm just going to say dive in,
For the
phone a
blessing
friend.
series, but for the blessing series, you got to start with book 1.
You have to start.
You
If you're
got
going
to
to
read
start with
those
the,
in order.
absolutely. If
You
you're going
have
to
to read
start with
those
the
in order.
Blessing series, you must read them in order
Yeah.
to fully understand who, what, when, why of this whole town.
Yeah, because it's a cast of thousands. It's like,
Yes.
you know.
And I tell you, I snot cried, and
The ugly cry.
It's
Cry.
been some years since the first one came out till now, and I think about once a year I'll say, all right, let's do the reread, and I have to brace myself for Devin's story, and I still cry because it's like I know what's gonna happen now, and I love Trent, and he's like, nope, let him get it out, and I was like, but this is the baby though, but
he's a great dad. He is an excellent dad.
I love Trent. Oh my
he's
gosh.
a great dad. Yeah.
My mom said you cried too. Like,
yeah, we all cried.
We cried.
We've been doing it, because we're waiting on Al Roker supposedly. We ain't heard nothing. Has optioned the series for TV. And so we have been sort of. Well, I've been on hiatus over there because it ain't my page, but got a bunch of new people that are reading the series.
Okay.
And book three will break you down, and then we lift you back up with the arrival with the crazy Oklahoma Julys. So the book is, I think, very, very perfectly balanced. But
it is.
But it's a great series. It's a great series. And I'm hoping that, they'll get their stuff together and get whatever they're going to do with, this movie thing. And you thought authors laugh when they make us cry. No, girl, I'm crying too. I am like, okay, when I cry, y'all going to cry. When I laugh, then y'all going to laugh. But I saw the comment with your mom. So, yeah. But so we're waiting on, Al Roker made this big ass announcement and he got us all excited. And for the last 6 months, we ain't heard nothing. So
now, Al, don't make us go to Twitter and blow Twitter up, okay? We're going to try to be on our P's.
We're going to be very, 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 very calm.
But Dayville don't play with the mayor. Now, you best become correct with this work of hers, okay?
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. But Sony has the option on Forbidden, and we gotten a green light, and we're getting ready to do whatever it is they do, and then the pandemic hit, and all of the people who had green lighted it scattered, and then the new people that came in were like, not so much. So it's back out on the block.
Okay.
But Sony is still supporting the sale of it, so that's good to know. So, but I'm looking forward to the Heart of the Fall that Regina King is doing, because I got people are blowing up my email, want to know if that was Teresa July, and I'm like, technically probably not, since nobody contacted me, but she sure enough acts like Teresa, so I'm looking forward to that story.
Very
much. We don't have any westerns, and people, I do write westerns. I write very good westerns too.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Yes, Miss Johnson, Monica, we are going to talk about the latest novella that is due to come out soon.
Yeah, Rare Danger.
Yes. Tell us about that.
It's coming out in November. Avon, Amazon has a publishing arm, and they've been slowly. They've been around now for a couple of years, tapping people to come write for them. So they approached my agent last year about doing a novella. Back when I was supposed to be recovering from not being able to write. So we did a suspense. It's a curvy plus size librarian, and she is hooked up with a brother who's a mercenary, and it's suspense, and and I love my suspense. I love my car chases. I love blowing shit up. So I had to cut back on the blowing up stuff. The editor was like, Bev, really? I was blowing up shit, right?
That blow up.
I love blowing stuff up.
It gives us thrill.
But I had to. It's like focus, Bev, focus.
All right.
So
maybe the next book we can blow some stuff.
Well, I did blow stuff up. I just had to dial it back a little bit.
Understood.
So that'll be out November 16th. Sure. It is exclusive to Amazon, so it is Kindle and Audible.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be print at all.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to it. I didn't know what their heat level, since this is the first time I wrote for them. I didn't know what their heat level was going to be like. So I'm like I sort of kept it, not my usual heat, but it's still hot, but not my usual heat. But I loved her. Her name is Jasmine Weir. His name is Tor something. I don't remember. Y'all know how I am with my characters. But they're a great couple. And and you're gonna love the older couple in there too. So we got two couples, got our main couple, and then we have an older couple. So
awesome.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to your reactions.
Yes.
And then I'm working now on. I got 3 projects due between now and March. I have the novella, which is cross that off the list.
Okay.
Right now, I'm working on the next historical, which is called To Catch a Raven. And I've said this on Beverlyville. Pilar from Destiny's Captive was part of a female grifter family. Remember?
Right.
Counterfeiters and all that. So this is the American branch.
Okay.
And they're in New Orleans. And they've been sort of blackmailed into working for the Pinkertons. And
that's the snippet you put in.
That's in the spoiler room. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is due to Erica in November, and that'll be out next year. And then I got to finish up the Blessings book, which is due to her in March. So when I come up out of the cave, it'll be springtime again. So
I have to ask, because I know, at least for me, and I know people who probably are thinking it or maybe not thinking it, but we have to know, when is Sweetness getting his story?
I know,
and novella at this point.
He's just, he's like, when do I get a turn? I know.
Sweetness
I think about him
often. Story.
I know, and I've been putting little pieces in and putting those in the spoiler room. But I'm hoping sometime, I promise, I've been lying about this book for 10 years. So I've been trying. And y'all be like, okay, Miss Bev, yeah, you told us that last year. But you told us that 5 years ago. But it's in my computer. I just, got to get the stuff that pay the mortgage first. So
understood.
Yeah, but
we will continue to patiently wait.
Please continue to pray for me, and then because I know, and I'm eager because I'm intrigued by the story and him.
Yes.
So I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying.
It's okay. It's all right. Again, if you haven't read now, Sweetness is a character in one of her contemporary romances, right?
He's in Sexy Dangerous.
He's probably on about 30 pages in this
book. He's
got
a very, very small role. Yeah.
Very small, but when I tell you them 30 pages, Sweetness deserves his entire story. Yes, Antoinette, we are Team Sweetness over here.
I know.
He needs his own story. Brother, deserves an award for coming in, blowing it up with all of the charm. He doesn't look like this.
Yeah.
But if everyone has watched Bridgerton, he is giving you Duke vibes in this story, but he's only on 30 pages.
I know, yeah.
He needs his entire entire
He
story.
does. And he's a criminal.
And a
I
whole
mean,
criminal.
he's,
Whole
you know,
criminal.
and the mayor, his finest is the mayor above ground, and Sweetness is the mayor below ground. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so he trying to be out of that life, but
Sweetness need his own story. I'm gonna just be patient over here, and I'm gonna
I
just
know,
wait
baby. I'm
for it.
sorry. I'm
It's all
sorry.
right.
Oh,
Because we
Tora
got other
Noble, thank
gems
you.
coming. We good. We good.
Yeah.
You
Tora,
giving us other gems, so
yeah, I'm trying to give you stuff. But
yes.
y'all would have me writing 24/7, 365. And that's okay.
So here's
Because
the
I
thing.
got the stories. I just, do I
You need
have
to try.
the time? I mean, I
I'm
ain't
just
got a whole lot of time left here on this earth.
now. This is
But
the. I am one of the probably rare few
mm-hmm,
that is totally okay
mm-hmm,
if you did one book a year,
yeah,
and here's why. Your stories are you are perfectionist when it comes to what you write. And I would rather you take the time
thank you.
to make sure that we had the absolute best of you.
Mm-hmm.
And if that only gave us one book, we still have 50 other books to go back to. It's
Bless
not
you.
like we won't have other stuff to read.
I know,
So
bless you.
I laugh at these jokers in our Facebook group. I'm sitting here like, so I would rather have 99.9% of greatness than, oh, well, where this book come
I
from?
know.
You don't write like this. And then everybody's in an uproar because this isn't the typical
Right,
Beverly
yeah.
Jenkins story.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
yeah,
gonna need y'all to have a seat
yeah,
and let my mayor be great
yeah.
and write her stories.
I
And if
know.
we are blessed with 2 in a year, we
Yeah.
should be thankful.
Yeah,
And sit down somewhere. Like,
yeah.
I'm not
But
all the way saved to not lay y'all out. So calm down.
I
I'm not
know.
all the way there.
And book, it's times have changed and reader expectations have changed.
Mm-hmm.
The women who are writing these great independently published stories are writing great stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they're putting out 3, 4. Some of them. I mean, how many books a year is Brenda putting out? I'm like, Jesus, girl. Brenda's got over 100 books.
Yes.
She got more discipline than I will ever have. But I can't work that hard. I got Twitter to play with and y'all to play with, and I got bulbs to plant, and
Yes. Rabbits.
rabbits to kill.
Yes.
Cars to buy. I bought a car today.
Yes.
But they have raised readers' expectations, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm just trying to keep up with me.
I
That's why I didn't have that book done last year, because it's just too much shit going on in the world. So
I hear you.
but I'm gonna get this book to Erica so that we can have this historical next year,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll have the Blessings book next year, and you got Rare Danger coming out in November. So in a calendar year, you're gonna get two big books and a little book. So
see? I'm happy. The world is still spinning on its
The world is
axis.
still spinning. Yes, it is.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
So, tonight was, I made it through. I didn't cry. I'm probably going to cry later, though. My mom's going to call and be like, oh my God, you had her on your podcast. And then we're going to cry together. It's going to be happy tears, though. But I'm not going to cry now. Yes, Ms. Johnson. That's why you reread and leave her. I'm with you 100%. Leave her alone and let her be great. Absolutely. Yeah. But no, I am so honored to have you here. Like,
I'm glad to be.
You have no idea. For those that have not been a part of Legacy Book Bar, and this is the first time that you have been a part of the Sip and Chat, you are the reason, you and the authors that I have named previously are the reason I have created this bookstore. It was to give authors that followed behind you a place for them to voice their literary work. And without you guys being the warriors and paving the way, we wouldn't have some of the authors that we have now that have mirrored your guys' style
Yeah.
as
Well,
of now. And I'm just, and because of that is why um we have what we hear. I am not gonna cry, Monica. Don't mess my makeup up. No,
oh,
don't give me
I see
permission.
Monica. The
Don't.
first time I met Monica, she couldn't move. She was crying so hard. I was like, "Girl, come here," you know.
Yep,
But
yep.
y'all be crying. I be crying. Everybody be crying.
Yes. So
But
I'm not.
my readers are my gold. You
Mm,
know, I would not be here without them.
yes.
Um, I try and make myself very, very accessible to them online
Mm-hmm.
to because they paying my mortgage. They could be buying anybody's books, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're buying mine. So for 27 years,
Mm.
they have supported me. They have been the cliche, the wind beneath my wings. Um, Walked with me when I lost my husband. Um, Listened to me whine about stuff every day, which is why I'm on Facebook every morning saying good morning, and I'm on Facebook every night saying good night.
Mm-hmm.
Because they mean the world to me, and I've said it many times that when I count my blessings, I count y'all twice
Mm.
because you are. Um, so and for all authors out there, I have gone places where authors who are way bigger than me,
Mm.
have gotten out of the limo, seen a line of women lined up down the street, and just go, and I'm like, really? You not being appreciative of these women standing out here in the rain to
Mm.
get your, you know, if I ever do that, please get in line behind my sisters and the ladies on Babyville and slap the shit out of me because I have obviously lost my damn mind. Your readers are your gold. Treat them as if they are because they are. They ain't got to buy our books. Like I said, they could be buying anybody's books. So I'm very, very grateful to be here, to interact,
Mm-hmm.
to have the love, to get y'all, saying, Miss Bev, you don't write fast enough. Except for those people that send me, crazy letters and, demand, like maybe I work for them. Um, or the woman who, and I told the ladies at Beverlyville about this, about the woman told me I needed Jesus.
I
Because,
remember that.
yes, because my books were making her have unclean thoughts. From the pile of books she had on her nightstand that she had already bought from me. I'm like, lady, please. So thank y'all. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. So I just put in the comments that 27 years and counting plus 50 books equals greatness. And that is a
Thanks.
true testament to the work that you have done. Now,
Thank you.
only you know how long you're going to continue to write these amazing stories.
Till I get sweetness done.
So when that part comes,
Excuse me.
it's okay.
Uh-huh. Water.
When you get to that point and you look out over all of the years that you have put in, all of the tears you've cried, the laughter you've had, and you look out over all of your books, and you can kind of sit back and I did it. At the end of the day, what do you want your legacy to be?
That's sort of a question I got from somebody who asked me, what did I want on my headstone?
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably the same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want my legacy to be that she tried.
Mm.
That she tried to tell a great story. She tried to uplift the race. She tried to be a good friend. Um, she tried to be better today than she was yesterday. Um, she tried to be the person God created me to be. And she tried to have a good time. So, all of that. Um, and then you guys get to tell us or tell the world what my legacy and what the books meant to you, because that's more important to me than it has been to me. I mean, what do y'all think? That's the part of the equation that matters the most, is how did I affect the people who read my books?
I'm not gonna cry. Not gonna do it. That was an amazing answer. Thank you
You're so welcome.
so much for being here today. If God forbid something happens and I could no longer have my bookstore, tonight I can say for me, I got to talk as a business owner, as a bookstore owner. I got to talk to one of the greatest that is still doing it in the game today. So thank you
You are
so
so
much
welcome.
for
Have me
being
crying now. Stop it.
here.
I told y'all about making mama cry. I told y'all about that.
I know. I'm sorry. All of my friends and family, they all know I'm like the most thuggish crybaby you probably
That's
ever
okay.
met.
We still love you. It's all right.
We're
It's
gonna
all
get it
right.
together. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Just hang out with me for a few minutes. I have some updates I want to tell.
Okay. And I want to thank everybody who showed up tonight too. Thank you so much. Okay, now I'm going to shut up and let you do your thing.
Comment sections. Thank you so much. I did it. I had got through the entire segment and I did not cry. So yay, gold star to me. For those that have tuned in tonight, for the very first time. My name is Menina and I own Legacy Book Bar. Legacy Book Bar is female, Black-owned bookstore, online bookstore that caters to Black authors, specifically self-published authors, because unfortunately there is still a stigma behind being self-published. And I feel like no matter if you're self-published or traditional published, if you have a book that is in print, I should be able to go to any bookstore and find your book on that shelf in your correct genre. Mm-hmm. Since unfortunately that does not happen, I have decided to create the atmosphere for authors like Ms. Bev, for authors like Indy Jones, for authors like Serendipity, for authors like Michelle Warren and Nikki Charis. Those are a few of the self-published authors that are currently being sold at Legacy Book Bar. Black women in multiple genres. You should be able to find them in a bookstore anywhere. So I no longer get upset when I can't find them, because why? I have a bookstore now. There's no need for me to get angry. So I have a website. I have a bookstore. We ship out just like Amazon. You go, you purchase, books get shipped out. Now, again, I ship out in 3 to 5 business days, but post office is sometimes tripping on their shipping times. But I send your stuff out to you when you're supposed to get your stuff, okay? And I tell anyone, please share this broadcast. Go like the page. We're on all 3, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just started a TikTok. I have no idea what I'm doing on TikTok, but we're going to figure it out right now. And just go and see what we're doing at Legacy Book Bar. Tomorrow, I'll be hosting a book club for one of our authors, A.A. Lewis, The Last Letter. It is urban fiction. She's a female Black author who is also self-published. She has a 3-book series at our bookstore. We have some of the best authors, male and female, that self and traditionally published, depending on which way they go, that are being sold in the store. Our bookstore is affiliated with 3 female Black-owned publishing companies. We have Mocha Memoirs Press, we have Divine Legacy Publishing, and we have Indy Jones's solo publishing company, where all of her fabulous books are coming from. When I tell you that with a purchase from Legacy Book Bar, you legit can help support 3 Black-owned businesses with 1 purchase. There's not too many places that can say they do that. More than 75% of our authors are self-published, and all of our authors are Black at Legacy Book Bar. We just came up with a video ad with the help of Indy Jones. She helped us create it. We have a video ad. I want to, hopefully this goes right, and I would like to show it to you and see if this works. So bear with me. I have it set and ready. We're going to see if this works. And we're going to, of course, it's not going to work now because I want it to work. Oh, no, it's going to work. Okay. So bear with me. Hopefully everyone can hear and see it. Oh, wait. Okay. So,
I can't hear it or see it.
Oh, well, that just is not what I thought was going to happen. Oh, okay. I'm not sure, and I don't want to hold you guys too long, but it's on my Legacy Facebook page and Instagram. So go check out the video.
There you go.
It's really good. Go check it out. We have some amazing events that are coming up. We're having our first ever in-person event Halloween weekend. We're having a book fair, and then we're having an author's brunch here in the DMV area. So if you are an author and you're looking for tables and you want to participate, you want to come purchase a book, whatever you want to do, you can register. You can do whatever you do, your registration, save it, share the flyer, all that great stuff. And everything is on the website. The website is at the bottom of the screen. It's www.legacybookbar.com.
Awesome.
That's all I have for you this evening. Miss Beverly, thank you so much.
So welcome. I had fun.
Thank you.
This was great.
Thank you. All of our guests that are here, thank you so much. Legacy Book Bar Sip and Chats typically air every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please follow us on all social media sites for the next episode. You guys have a nice night. Stay safe. Still wear your mask. It's still COVID outside. And you guys have a nice night. Thank you, everyone. I so appreciate it.